Well, hello everyone. It's Angela with Mystic Moon, bringing you guys a What Does Spirit Want You to Know at this time about your divine love connection. Now, of course, you can watch this reading and just take the messages as a general message, but we are going to be looking into some specific angel numbers that may be connected to your connection. So obviously, just take what resonates for you and get rid of anything that doesn't. The decks I'll be using here today will be listed down below. Today's organite is called the Divine Love Pyramid. And if you guys are interested in your own personalized version of this reading, I will go ahead and put the links down below. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see, what does Spirit want us to know today about our divine love connection? So this particular deck is called the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. What does Spirit want us to know at this time about our divine love connection or situation? We have the Hawk Prince, spirit communication, paying attention. Fantastic. So this is basically saying here that Spirit is communicating with you about your divine love connection, or just in general. So are you paying attention to the signs? So we can see here that this guy is looking up into the sky. So this might be meaning that you're going to see something perhaps in the shape of clouds. You're going to see something flying around, like maybe an orb of light. It could be that you see a feather flying around, or even a type of bird. It does say hawk. So yeah, there's something going on with that. And it also is, you guys, number 11. Pay attention to 11s that you guys are seeing. So pay attention to when you see it, what's going on at that time, and really lean into that message to see what Spirit wants you to know. All right, so let's go ahead and go into my Earth and Sky Oracle. What else do we need to know? We have black hole. Wow. Getting sucked in. No way out. The end of the line. Complete void. Okay, you guys. So what I'm picking up on here is avoid things that cause you to feel fearful. And what I mean by that is like fear mongering. You know, if you're listening to certain podcasts or news sources and it's just like, you know, holy shit, we're all going to die. The world's going to hell in the handbasket. That kind of thing. Really try to avoid that. Now, it doesn't mean that things are not happening at this time. It doesn't mean that we're putting our head in the sand and, you know, turning a blind eye and throwing love and light on the world, pretending that things are not happening. That's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about people, though, that actually thrive on fear. They thrive on negativity. They thrive on drama. So pay attention to what you're plugging into on a daily basis. And this will really help you to be in a more ascended state moving forward. And, you know, just for me personally, there's been a couple of people that I've listened to that I really enjoy, but then I start to realize, wow, you know what? This message that they're constantly bringing through doesn't resonate with me. Doesn't resonate with my, you know, spiritual belief system or whatever. And I can sense some sort of judgment or like they don't understand what they're dealing with. And so it's just easy to condemn it. That's the kind of energy I'm talking about, you know, closed-mindedness. I'm right, you're wrong, etc. I don't think that there's anything wrong with being right in the middle and making decisions for yourself. So for whatever reason, this is coming through this morning, and I just feel it has something to do with what we are paying attention to. Are we giving our attention to things that are sucking us in, right? Are we giving our power over to things that are just completely taking over our lives? You want to know what sucks me in? Freaking TikTok, man. Oh, God, I don't know what it is. I'm like, is the algorithm, is it like an artificial intelligence? Is it controlling my mind? I mean, I'm just joking when I'm saying this, but I tell myself I'm not going to scroll through TikTok Because when I do it, it's like I get sucked in and an hour goes by and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? It's this habitual thing. So it's like an addiction in some sort of form for me. And it's not good. Nothing comes good from it. Nothing at all. No production. Just me sitting there more, it just doesn't do any good. So my point is, unless you want to be entertained, that's great. But if you want to spend your time, doing something more constructive, it might be best to pull yourself out of black holes, things that suck you in, things that if I just have one, I'm probably not going to be able to stop myself. Or, if I listen to this, I'm probably not going to be in a good mood today. If I look at the news and listen to what's going on right now, I'm probably going to, feel like the world is ending. So I'm just trying to be funny because I think we all have this thing that we do sometimes, even though we know we probably should not be doing it. So TikTok's mine. All right, let's go ahead and see what else we need to know. This could also be talking to someone that doesn't understand you, talking to someone that is just not on your same wavelength. And it doesn't mean that you're right and they're wrong. It just means that maybe you guys are not on the same wavelength to have certain conversations that are complex, that are deep. Maybe somebody will judge you for what you're thinking or feeling. Sometimes keeping something to yourself can preserve the magic. And so I feel like sometimes that's a good thing to do as well. You ever share an idea with somebody and they just shit all over it and you're just like, wow. Yeah. So there's some kind of message about that too. All right, this is my Twin Flame Angel Numbers deck. Let's see what wants to come through as far as angel numbers go. We already have 11 coming through. Ooh, we have 747, which to me is another 11 card because 7 plus 4 is number 11. So no matter how we look at it, 11 is coming through big time. Begin to take your talents to the next level. Your dream job can be a main source of income. I love it. So this is telling me, you guys, that if you have a dream, okay, and you know that there's someone out there that just shits all over everyone's ideas because they're a miserable person, don't share it with this individual. Just keep it to yourself. Maybe say less. Don't involve them in your stuff, okay? We all have people in our lives like that, where they just are so miserable and they're so close-minded, they just can't get with your program. And they don't need to get with your program. They don't. Your program is your program. It's your program to work. So this is indicating to us, you guys, to pay attention to, again, what are we giving our time and energy to? Are we giving our time and energy to negativity? Being down in the dumps, being depressed, feeling negative, feeling like we can't do anything? Or are we spending our time in activities that are celebrating us, that are empowering us, that are making us feel good, like we can do something? Yeah, I like this. So I know I just spent 8 minutes really on a very small message, but it's a big one because I think that when we just kind of stop ourselves and realize, wow, I'm going down this hole. Again, I'm going down this rabbit hole. It never ends well. It never goes anywhere good. Why am I going down like old coping mechanisms? Why am I going down that particular path once again? That doesn't work for me. It didn't work in the past, so why am I going to go down that hole again? So we're pulling ourselves out, you guys. The 11s to me is an opportunity for us to see things differently, to awaken to a whole new set, like a whole new reality, and to also ascend to the next level. I see 1111 as a portal energy. So we are literally, instead of going down that black hole, which we always have a choice, we're instead going to ascend to the next level. We're going to go up. We're going to rise up. Instead of going down in flames and burning in the fire, we're going to resurrect ourselves like the phoenix hawk rising from the ashes and survive and go next level. I love it. So this may have something to do with your divine love connection. This may have something to do with just you trying to figure out what you're doing with your life. Some of you guys are pursuing your dreams. Some of you guys are pursuing your life purpose, your mission right now. You might be experiencing a lot of challenges. I know I am, and sometimes I can get into that energy where it's just like, oh shit, what am I going to do? But there's always something that just keeps me going. And so I choose at the end of the day to focus on that instead. So Anyways, that's what we have so far. So let's go ahead and go into my Signs from Spirit Love Oracle. Oh, this one just wanted to pop out. Ooh, we have aroma, memories. So Spirit is giving us a message in regards to perhaps maybe using scents and aromas, aromatherapy, right? Beautiful. Essential oils, candles, things that just smell good. You want to know what one of the most amazing smells to me in the entire freaking world is? Tuberose. I don't know what it is about that particular flower that just does it for me. There is a store called Joe Malone. I think that's what it's called, Joe Malone. And they, customize things. But they have just smells so good. It's probably toxic as hell, but whatever. But it smells so good. And they actually have a cream that is tuberose, and I swear, you guys, it smells like heaven to me. So when we are utilizing our senses like that, when we're activating our senses, I believe that scent is one of the things that takes us back to our memories more than the other senses, more than taste, sound, even though music is probably a close second, but scent, aroma. So when you smell something, it takes you back to a particular moment in time. So you are being asked to tantalize your senses, but especially aroma. If you guys like flowers, if you guys like certain scents, if you guys like, to feel a certain way, do your research. Do your research on that. But we also there's something that's coming back in the form of a memory. Pay attention to it, but don't get sucked into it. Meaning that sometimes things pop up, and sometimes people will look at things that pop up as it's a sign that I need to do this. It's a sign that I need to do that. Sit with the energy, meditate on it, sleep on it, and see how you feel in the morning. Usually when we do that and we take a little bit of a break on our knee-jerk reaction to react immediately, right? What'll end up happening is we're actually using our true intuition in the morning, or when we take a step back and we wait. Okay? But usually it's that knee-jerk reaction that is the ego's way of saying you need to do this and you need to do that kind of thing. So I just feel like if there's some things that are coming up, you guys, right now that are negative, that doesn't mean that everything is fucked, that it's all screwed. It's never going to work out. Everything sucks. Don't get sucked into that story, because I feel like for some of us that story didn't work before, that coping mechanism to sabotage didn't work before. It's not going to work again. So why don't we try something different? Instead of throwing in the towel immediately on a project, why don't we just go ahead and try to do something different or do something else instead and then come back to it? I think that's beautiful. Now, if you guys are also getting a lot of memories that are coming up for you right now, there is something that you can do instead of getting depressed by it, instead of feeling sad because someone's not in your life anymore, or whatever the circumstances are. Instead, use this energy as an inspiration to create something. Let it be your fuel. Let it inspire you and be your fire, that fire in your soul that keeps you motivated, that keeps you going. So you see how we can use our shadow sometimes, or things that are unpleasant, or just certain circumstances that we don't exactly like. We can use them to empower ourselves to keep going, to be motivated. And that's just what I'm getting here that Spirit is trying to tell us. Love it. All right, let's go ahead and go into my trump cards. I don't know if you guys know this, but this is the only deck that I have, which is 100 cards. It's a lot. And it's the only one that I've made like this, but there's 100 charms in here that mean specific things. We have Christmas tree, joy. Wow. So immediately what I'm getting here for some of you guys, and this is another scent that I absolutely love all year round, is freaking pine, especially Christmas tree. It takes you back, right? So throughout the year, if you were to smell a pine candle, what usually, probably like 98% of people would think of a Christmas tree smelling pine. They would think of Christmas time, but not everybody celebrates Christmas, so maybe not 98%. But anyways, to me, this is joy. Turn something around. Turn it into something joyous is what I'm seeing here. Do something joyous with this. Take the pain and turn it some way. Transform it. Transmute the energy into joy. Make it work for you. Let it help you to motivate yourself. Let it help you live your best life, to take your life next level, or to live out your dream. Okay? That's what I'm seeing here. And some of you guys might just want to be outdoors, just the aroma of nature, right? Just the aroma of nature is enough for you to really become infused with just all kinds of fresh new concepts. I can't tell you how many times where it's like I've spent the entire week in the house just working, doing readings, and I step outside on a Sunday and I'm like, oh my God, why don't I do this more often? Are you freaking kidding me? Just being outdoors and nature is exhilarating. Even if it's the smell of wet pavement, after a rain, which I love that smell so much, by the way. It's just enough for you to go, wow, I feel alive. I feel good. So that is what we have. So I feel like this first message, you guys, is about you. It can be connected to your connection, yes, but it's really for you to empower yourselves and to take your life next level. That's what I'm seeing here. I love this. The Ace of Air, which is the Ace of Swords. Look. I just talked about inspiration, and here it is. Allow whatever is coming up right now to help you to make proper adjustments, for you to get clear on your communication with spirit. So it might be for some of you that maybe the lines of communication are a little jammed, like the frequencies are a little jammed up, and it's because perhaps we are, just more in that energy or that mindset of all is doomed. I don't really have a lot of faith. My dreams are probably never going to come true. It's kind of like that belief system that keeps us down, that keeps us depressed, that keeps us just gloomy and sad. And we are being asked to really try to break out of that. We're not being asked to become delusional. Obviously, there's still certain things that might hold us back from a dream. Some of those things, you guys, can be financial. Some of those things can be health things, health issues. So I'm not pretending here that, love and light, all is well. If you believe, it will come true. I'm a little bit more down to earth and practical than that. But it doesn't mean that you can't use your mind, despite your circumstances, to dream, to come up with ideas, to use your inspiration to do something small, just little tiny things. Even if it's just a small thing that you do once a day is better than doing nothing at all. That's the Ace of Swords energy. The Ace of Swords is kind of challenging. There's some challenges. Look, that sword's a little heavy. That's why he's dragging it on the ground. It's a little heavy. But one day he's going to eventually be big enough and strong enough to hold it up and to utilize that sword to take some action. Okay, so these two decks are tarot decks from Bradley Valentine, by the way. We have the Four of Cups. Yeah, there's some kind of dissatisfaction when the Four of Cups pops up. Kind of like, I'm not really feeling something, or I don't really like what's happening right now, or it really sucks. That's my ice maker. Sorry, guys. It just really sucks that I have to wait, or that things aren't really popping off right now. But I'm going to tell you that everybody has, every time in your life, whether you're up or down, has its value. So I'm going to read this to you. We might be failing to recognize a magical opportunity. We're missing the point. It's like right in front of us, but we either don't want to see it, we don't want it, it's not what we were asking for, but Spirit is giving us something. You can see that angel that's right behind the guy, behind the tree, and he's not looking at it. He's not even looking at the freaking cups. He's just sitting there, and he's just like, I'm focused on what I'm not getting. I'm focusing on something that's not here right now. Okay? So you're distracting yourself, perhaps. You're distracting yourself and you're taking yourself off of your course, actually, and going down that black rabbit hole is what I want to call it. It says discontent or bored, lost in your own world. It's time to wake up. So we do have to wake up and smell the coffee. We have to wake up right now and realize that if we don't start taking action on our lives or start doing something to implement our dreams, then we're never going to get there. It's very easy to sit here and say, oh, it's just too hard to change. It's too much work. I'm overwhelmed by everything I'm going to have to do in order to make that happen. But we have to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. So again, Spirit is trying to tell us that if you've gone down this rabbit hole before, it didn't work out. It's not going to work again. Meaning your way of coping, your way of dealing with something, giving up before the miracle occurs, or giving into negativity or that type of thinking that you're never going to be happy. You're being punished. Life doesn't work out for you. You're not special. All those things. That kind of thinking isn't really going to get you anywhere either. So the best thing that you can possibly do is to open up your eyes and look what you do have in front of you. Look at what you can do with what you have right now. Oh man, my cat Indy is going into this recycled cans bag and he's making noise. You're pissing me off. Yeah, so let's take a look at what we have. Let's just open up our eyes and see what we can do. Let's stop focusing on what we can't do. Let's stop talking about it, right? I'm giving myself a pep talk here. Let's stop talking about what we can't do. Instead, why don't we focus on what we can do? Let's do that and see how that shit turns out. Because all the times that we talked about everything that we couldn't do, right? All the negative things. Where did it take us? Where did it lead us? Probably nowhere good. So this is telling me that we have an opportunity to hit the reset button and to try again. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to pull this bag away from my cat. Andy, God, you're pissing me off. Sorry, guys. I hate it when he does that. But I'm not going to stop the video, and have to splice it together. That's another pain in the ass. Okay, so let's go ahead and get another set. Let's get another set of messages. What do we need to know? What does Spirit want us to know at this time, just in general, or about our divine love connection? And I feel like for a lot of you, that could have definitely resonated with your divine love connection. Ooh, we have the spiral dancer. Look at this. We've got this, the way that we perceive things, right? Spiral. To me, I'm like spiraling out of control, right? Now, that's really how passion and creativity work. We can sometimes spiral out of control. We can sometimes overexert ourselves, right? We can sometimes get too caught up in a moment and we're not thinking about other things. We're just having like a tunnel vision. And when we really need to focus on something, that's great energy, but sometimes we can get lost in that. And there are a lot of things in front of us that we do need to be paying attention to, which is what Spirit's saying here. So let's open our eyes and try not to get lost, but let's also have fun at the same time and dance. To me, learn to dance with both the positive and negative energies in your life. You don't want to just do the dance with the positive. I mean, it's great. You're having a great time. But what happens when things come crashing down? Something negative happens, something bad happens, a tragedy. If we don't learn how to dance with the dark too, then we're going to be completely devastated. And it doesn't mean that, if you properly balance yourself in both dark and light, that you won't be devastated when dark shit happens. But what I'm getting here is that you're going to avoid the constant extreme high and extreme low. That's why it's very important for you to embrace some of your negativity, embrace some of your darkness and your shadow, because it's a part of you. It's operating within you for a reason. Do the dance with both, okay? And it's all in the way that you perceive it. Your shadow is not necessarily negative. It's going to save your ass in certain situations. I'll tell you that right now. We have tiger. Ooh, I have the tiger. I'm not going to sing it because I can't sing. But charming and well-liked, dominant and competitive, born leaders, boastful, but can sometimes be arrogant. So to me, this is basically an indication here that something that we want, right? Something that we want to achieve, we're going to have to learn to dance with both the dark and the light side of ourselves in order to get what we want. Meaning, sometimes you are going to have to lean into that shadow, which allows you to be very discerning. It also allows you to hold up very healthy boundaries and to say no to other people, especially toxic people that like to, push your buttons or try to sabotage you. You're going to be able to sniff that out. If you're all love and light and dancing in a magical unicorn world, you may not be able to see shit for how it really is. Now, of course, if you're only operating in the shadow and dark, you're going to see every person as a problem and you're not going to trust anyone. Again, balance both sides, okay? Some people might see you as someone who is very sure of themselves. So what? That's great. And if they can't handle it, that's their own problem. That's what I'm getting here. That's their own issue. That's their own hang up. So don't apologize for being confident. Don't apologize for being well-liked. Don't feel like you have to downplay yourself because other people have made choices that have led them to, crappy circumstances. And I know that it's not everyone that's in a bad situation, that it's their fault that they're there. But I'm talking about people in your life that have made certain decisions and they could have done differently, but they chose not to, and they're still kind of blaming life or circumstances for their issues and problems rather than taking responsibility. And here you are perhaps working very hard for what you have, and this person or other people say, oh, well, you're just lucky, or you're just this, or you're just that, or if I had that, then of course I would be happy. What I'm getting here is don't allow those negative naysayers to take you out of your dance, to take you off your path, okay? Because we also have competitive. There might be people that are very competitive with you. They're competing with you. And this is about you staying centered. All right, what else? We have 9/11. Union is in the air, but are you ready? Take care of any unfinished business now. Fantastic. So if some of you guys are not in union with your counterpart, this is calling your attention, which is probably why this reading so far has been about us. It's been about us as individuals, cleaning up our acts, getting on track once again, living our lives in a more productive way, etc., being more confident, going after your goals and your dreams, not allowing the negative things that are either happening in this world or that are coming from other people to stop you on your path. You continue to rise. So of course that 9/11 energy to me is very much, like an emergency, like it's like coming down to the wire. Union is possible with this person, but are you even ready? Do you even like yourself? Do you feel confident? Because if you don't, if you and this person were to come back together again, chances are you might completely spin out of control. As in, you will give this person all of your power. You will take your identity and put it into them. you won't have your own stuff going on. And all of those things will put stress on any relationship if it's not balanced. You know what I'm talking about, whether it's friends or family or lovers, where they don't have anything going on for themselves. And so they dedicate all of their time and energy to you. And even though you're into that person, it can become draining. It can become overwhelming. You can almost even be repelled or turned off after a period of time. So there's a message here that's indicating to us, whatever things we have going on, whether they are insecurities, we don't like the way that we look, we don't like our careers, we don't like where we're at in the world. Let's get it under wraps so we can feel good when we enter into this connection or, whatever. Let's love all aspects of ourselves instead of hating that one part of ourselves. Let's fall in love with that aspect of ourselves. Let's accept ourselves. Let's forgive ourselves. We don't want to take this shit into a connection. Because if you guys had issues with this person before because of some circumstance, okay? And it's not just about you taking full responsibility. But if you're not emotionally regulated and balanced and know who you are, then other people with what they say or do can completely take you off balance. They can completely take you out of control because you're not in control of yourself. They can completely turn your world upside down. So there's something about being more steady and stable within yourself. So that way, just in case if you and this individual were to come back together, your entire world isn't going to be shaken or crumble because of what someone says or does next time. I don't know who that's for, but that's a message. Wow, look at this. There is something about the shadow. We have lack, rebellion, and pessimism. I've been talking about that in this entire reading, okay? If some of you guys have just that pessimistic side, that dark side of yourself, that part of yourself that just feels rage and hate and all those things, it's not saying, oh my God, you're such a bad person. Oh my God, the reason that your life is falling out of sorts is because you have negative thoughts. Bullshit. That's not what's going on. But it is that black hole that is always there. Okay? Very, very telling here that we started off with a black hole and now we have black. So let's really look at this. Black and white thinking. White, black and white thinking. Extremism. We can see that extreme energy all over the world right now. And it's just my opinion that extreme thinking doesn't really work. It's just that extreme high and extreme low, or absolutely not. Now, I have said this before. There are some instances when we're in danger, where that black and white thinking is going to be crucial. So I'm not talking about all across the board, every situation, okay? So please use your discernment when I'm saying this. But this is telling me that this black and white way of thinking, it's all or nothing. That kind of attitude is not working anymore. And I can actually relate to this because I used to be this way, like with my diet or exercise or anything. It was just, I have to do everything. Like I have to, no sleep, no rest, this regimen of, just total chaos. And then I totally screw myself. It's not going to work. No one can live up to that. It's not realistic. And I failed so many times with the things that I've carved out for myself because it was all or nothing. Well, all or nothing, again, sometimes that can work, but the majority of the time it doesn't work. We have to find balance. We have to find a way to go into things a little bit more balanced, okay? So what I'm getting here is that the thing to do especially in your life right now, with wherever you're at with yourself or wherever you're at in this connection, really try not to think in black and white terms. This has to work. We have to get into union. This is the only person in my life that I can be with. If this doesn't happen, then I will never love anyone else. I'm talking about extreme thinking, extreme ways of thinking. Okay. Or, oh yeah, this person hates me, doesn't care about me, doesn't love me. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of love. That would be obviously the opposite side of that thinking as well. So there's some kind of a message here about not going into that black hole, not going into that hole of complete darkness and despair, and perhaps not spiraling out of control in the clouds either, where we're not really facing reality and seeing that, you know what, we still have a life here on planet Earth. Okay, so to me, this is funny. This to me is we're flying around in 5D, and it's wonderful, and that's what our dreams are made of, and we're getting all of our inspiration, and it's wonderful. It absolutely is a wonderful place to be. Very wonderful. But check it out. What about this? What about your kids, if you have kids? What about your husband, if you have a husband or a wife? What about your family? What about your job? What about you? What about the things that are actually made of the 3D world? Does an apple actually have to fall on your head to help you to realize that you're on planet Earth where gravity exists? Right? So to me, this is saying we do have to wake up to a point, but it's the way that we're perceiving things. So I don't want to go too much into that, but I think that sometimes extreme ways of thinking, like extreme religion or extreme New Age thinking, can sometimes really cause a lot of suffering. And I just think that if you've gotten lost on a path of New Age spirituality or even religion or, just whatever, I feel like Spirit is giving us permission to live our lives in both worlds. But remember, at the end of the day, it's being balanced between both is what I'm seeing here. So that's an interesting little message. So let's go ahead and get a charm card. Light bulb, epiphany, yes. Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Yes. Now, when we're closed-minded, you guys, when we're in black and white thinking, we're not going to have really any epiphanies. We're just not. There's no room for epiphany. There's no room for change. There's no room for different levels of awareness. There is no room to consider anything when you're in black and white thinking. But when you're in the middle, you can see both sides. When you're in the middle, you don't have to choose to do anything. You can take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You don't have to fight with others. You don't have to have all of the answers. You are just living your life. You are just being. So that's an interesting message. So if you guys have gotten some epiphanies and you guys have gotten some, had some sort of dreams or visions of your divine counterpart in your union, what I'm getting here is it's kind of like, and this isn't me saying this, it's just sometimes what people say. It's like reading the Bible. Are we reading the Bible and we're taking it like verbatim, word for word, this is actually the way it's going to look? Or were those the visions that were given to those prophets and they wrote them down, which was a vision, but that's not exactly maybe how it's going to happen or what it's going to look like, right? So it goes the same way with our visions and our dreams. Whatever Spirit is giving to us, and we do know that Spirit is communicating to us, it might not be black and white, you guys. It might not be the exact thing that you're being told or that you've heard or that you've seen. It's up to interpretation. It's your perception of things. So if your perception is very black and white, then that might be what you are expecting to happen. I had I'm just using this as an example. I had a vision that me and my twin flame would be in union and that we were going to do this and that we were going to do that. And then the time and date happens and it doesn't happen. Oh, twin flames suck. Twin flames are shit. It's a cult. It's not real. I'm going to run back to Jesus, all these things, because New Age is the devil. Do you get what I'm saying to you guys right now? That right there is a trap. You're setting yourself up for a trap immediately when you go into things like that. Okay? I've seen people do that on just the New Age community. I've seen several readers lose themselves completely, and they shut everything down. They cancel everything. Some have gone to Jesus. Great. I hope that they find peace and happiness in that. That's wonderful. But to be honest, if you did find peace and happiness, I'm not really sure why you'd be condemning everybody. Whatever. But the thing is, it's like that is that extreme, one extreme to the next. Why can't we just be in the middle? Why can't we just be chill? Why can't we just accept this as a journey? Why can't we just let spirit take us down this journey and realize that we are not going to have all the answers? We're not meant to have all the answers. One of my favorite things, and I'm totally being sarcastic, is when I see people on TikTok. There's that evil TikTok again. Just kidding. But just like, yes, God came down and told me this. Really? I'm sorry. To me, it's just like when you're claiming that kind of prophecy, I just, and you are saying things that are super extreme like that, you're sucking people in that are looking. That's why people follow cults. That's why people getting sucked in, to extreme, because they're at such a low point. They're vulnerable. And not every person that you meet, and also not every spirit that you're working with, has your best interest in mind. So that's why it's just, again, being right there in the middle, just being nice and grounded, working with yourself, trusting yourself, not listening to everything that everyone else is saying all the time. Take it with a grain of salt. I do. And that goes for me too. There's shit that I'm going to say where you're going to be like, you're way off, honey. Or I absolutely don't agree with that. Or you're having a bad day, aren't you, Mystic Moon? I mean, I've gone through all of that before for sure. And so it's not like everything that I've ever said on my channel is, not this, because it definitely has been that for sure. But I'm a human being. I'm on this journey with you guys. I'm constantly shifting and changing. We're in it together, whether you like it or not. All right, let's keep going. Oh my gosh. Wow. 10 of air, which is 10 of swords. When you can let go of your expectations. So that's what I'm seeing here with this. When I say divine love, divine counterpart, I don't like to use particular titles anymore because I feel like people can kind of just put too much expectation on that particular title of twin flames, which is why I've pulled back even labeling my readings anymore as twin flame. But that doesn't mean that I am not very much a part of that journey and understand a lot of things and things that I've gone through on that journey. That journey was an amazing, wonderful experience for me, So, but 10 is the endings, recovery, freedom, endings, letting go. Spirit says it's time. It's time to let go of some old way of being or thinking or engaging with something. It's time to let go. It's time to learn to dance with something. It's time to put all this extreme belief and thinking aside and actually start enjoying your life and being free. And it's not like not taking things so seriously, but letting go a little bit. I think that sometimes in life there are certain, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess programs. And what I mean is like mental programs where people think if I do this and I do that, then this is my reward. Well, when that reward, let's just say it doesn't come, then what are you going to do? What you're going to do is you're going to can that whole idea and say, Fuck it. That was wrong. That was false. I'm done. It wasn't worth it. I've seen so many people come and go on these journeys that they've been on because of that reason, because it didn't turn out the way that they wanted it to, or the way they were told, or the way it was prophesized by some dipshit on TikTok that, you know, everybody's coming into union. I mean, look at this. Union is in the air. It can be, but are you ready? So that might be true for some people, but that doesn't apply to you just because you hear it on a reading. Are you ready? Are you really ready? Is this really what you want right now? Have you really, really freed yourself from expectation? Because if you do get this union again, it's most likely going to fall apart and end up in the same way that it did once before. I've seen people go back and forth many times in cycles with the same person because they are not ready. They want to be ready. It sounds great to be ready, but they're not ready. They may not even be ready in this lifetime, sadly. But this is an indication of, let's get into union with ourselves, right? Let's get into union with ourselves. Let's be free of expectations of needing to have a union with another person. And when we can get to that point and we're dancing around with ourselves, I'm dancing with myself, Billy Idol. I don't know, it's coming through, okay? When you can learn to dance with yourself, to me, that's when everything's going to change. But this extreme black and white, if these messages have been resonating with you guys so far, if you guys have been on these journeys up and down, all over the place on these journeys, like a lot of us have, I feel like you're finally getting better at this. You're finally getting it. The light bulb's finally going off and you're just like, okay, I get it, Spirit. I get it. You've had to tell me a million times. I've had to go through certain things, but I really get it this time. Thank you. Yes, I'm listening. I'm listening now. I really am listening now. So, and we have the Knight of Wands. Do you know who the Knight of Wands is? The Knight of Wands is free. He is the freest knight in the entire tarot deck. The Knight of Pentacles is very dedicated. He's very structured. The Nine of Cups is very romantic and feels very deep. You've got your Knight of Swords, which is really, really focused, really honed in on a specific thing. And then you got the Knight of Wands that's just living his life. Yeah, that's it. So it says passionate, confident, charismatic, restless, events requiring immediate action, trusting your instincts, staying focused, a passionate relationship. So this is about a passionate relationship with yourself. And once you go in that direction and you stay focused on yourself, it is going to lead to you feeling a more fulfilled life. That's what the point is right now. So, you know, some of you may have wanted to get a lot of predictions on this connection, as in, you know, this is how your person is feeling towards you, and etc. I do other readings like that. So this one is just, I like to keep it open, like with whatever comes through. And what's coming through here today is kind of like this, you know, kicking the seat of our pants kind of energy from our spirit team, from you know, the divine, and saying, hey, it's time for us to start doing things a little bit differently because what we've been doing isn't really working. It's time for us to shift. It's time for us to change the story. It's time for us to let go of certain things. It's time for us to really kind of figure out what we want to plug into every day. If what we've been plugging into isn't working, then why are we still doing it? Let's change something up. Let's not be afraid to move. Let's not be afraid to experience life. Let's not be afraid to live. So whatever we've been waiting for, and we're just waiting endlessly and it may not be happening, live your life anyways. Live your life anyways. If you want to wait, that's fine, but live your life in the meantime. Learn to dance is what we're seeing here. Learn to dance. All right, you guys, we're going to get one last set of messages and then I'm going to have to close up. All right, what else do we need to know? Final messages for people that are resonating with this video so far. We have the spirit whisper. Oh my God, yes. So many just confirmations that spirit is communicating with you. Divine guidance is coming from whispers. So you guys might actually be clairaudient where you're hearing things. You're actually faintly hearing your spirit team. You're hearing spirits communicate with you. But we do have higher knowing. So this is just knowing. Okay. But a spirit whisper can just be a thought that you have, and it's just an inner knowingness. You just know something without a shadow of a doubt. That is spirit communicating with you. That's beautiful. All right. What else? I'm also getting 2 higher self messages. If you're receiving higher self messages from your divine counterpart, this is about you ultimately trusting that information. Okay. Now we have rat, inventive and creative, uninhibited and free. Another indication of being free, elegant and good looking, but can be greedy and gossiping. Very interesting. Okay. So of course, when you think about a rat, like, oh God, a rat is a rat, like a person that does bad things, somebody who's shady, right? Okay. What I'm getting here, this is about, do not pay attention to what other people are telling you. People love to gossip. Have you ever met someone that loves to tell you something that you probably would have been better off not knowing? Seriously. It's like, really? If I knew something that was just, I heard somebody say something awful about someone, I'm not going to go and tell them. I'm not going to go and tell them. Because what good is that doing for that person? What, so I can absolve myself and feel better that I got it off my chest? What a selfish thing to do. So not everything that we hear do we need to know. So this is also going to go for social media. If you're cruising or spying on someone's social media, you're going to create all kinds of chaos for yourself. You're very inventive and creative. You will create a story that's not even freaking true because you are seeing something. So you're going to automatically make assumptions and you're going to create stories. I'm getting here. What it's doing is it's distracting you from your spiritual journey. You will be better off just trusting your own higher self when it comes to this person, rather than trying to invent things by creating things or talking to other people about this person. And if there's someone out there that is telling you information and they just drop it on you like a freaking bomb, this is about being discerning and maybe cutting that person out of your life, because people that do that to you, knowing that it's hurting you and that you're suffering with what they're telling you, they do not have your best or highest good in their own, no, what's the word I'm looking for? Your best interest is not what they have in mind, if I could say that right. Okay. All right. What else do we need to know? This is also here. Trust what spirit is telling you. If you feel like you can't trust someone, trust your intuition. Someone's a rat. I'm getting that too. Okay. So this one, there's a card that is up. I just saw it. Well, I thought I did. Okay. All right. Yep. You got to protect yourself. We have shelter. You have to protect yourself from some kind of either person or someone or something that you're subjecting yourself to. I'm getting here. You got to stop this behavior. This behavior is actually not serving you at all. And what's interesting, on the bottom of the deck, I have a wake-up call. Remember the wake-up call? It's time to move in a new direction. It's time to change something that you're doing, because it's not actually inspiring you or empowering you in a positive way. It's actually regressing you. So spirit, again, kicking the pants, says, let's stop. And not all of you guys are dealing with this, so just take it if it resonates. But there is something that you do need to shield yourself from, because it's not helping you. It's not serving you. 2, 3, 4. Love this. Your person is leveling up their energy in order to match yours and will face you when the time is right. Wow. Remember I was talking about in the very beginning of the reading of you leveling up? Well, the thing is, once we take steps to level up, we have 2, 3, 4. It's almost like there's some kind of somebody else is falling into step with us. So sitting around, and this is just, of course, if this is happening, hoping someone will return, wanting someone to come back, just sitting around dreaming about it, we're not really living our lives. To me, when we take action, like the Knight of Wands, when we start moving forward, it's almost like this connection starts to move forward. If we're just sitting around waiting, there are no actions that are being taken. So it doesn't mean like if we live our lives, this guarantees that this person will come back. But why not try it and see what happens? Because sitting around certainly isn't going to do anything. Praying for it isn't certainly going to do anything. Start taking some action steps in your life and see how that energy works for you. You know, can't knock it until you try it, right? All right, let's go ahead and get a charm card. Spirit animal. Okay. Well, the one spirit animal, actually there's three. The spirit animals that came through the reading here today, we have hawk, tiger, and rat. Pretty sure that those are all the animals that have come through. Tiger, hawk, and rat. Those are significant in this reading today. Now, other spirit animals may come to you as well, but those three, for some reason, are coming through. So the hawk, a hawk is a hawk, but then we have the rat and we have the tiger. So we have the year of the rat and the year of the tiger. So I don't exactly know all the years, but that could be significant for some of you guys out there watching the video, okay? I'm the year of the rabbit, by the way, which is this year. Yay me. Okay, let's see what else. Ooh, the Ten of Earth. Fantastic. Look at this. This is about us moving forward, right? It says prosperity, security. We even have tradition. So Ten of Earth, Ten of Pentacles is a family card to me. It's long-term goals, long-term happiness, feeling secure, feeling really stable in our lives, building something for ourselves. We also have the dog, year of the dog. So we have a couple of Chinese astrology signs coming through. Year of the dog, year of the rat, year of the tiger. I don't know what that means, but we also have a dog. Dogs are about loyalty. Dogs are about companions. Dogs are about friendships, things like that. So some of you guys, of course, could be getting a dog. That could be significant for you. But the overall message for me is that let this connection and whatever you guys have gone through so far, let it be an impression, like let it make a positive impression in your life. Okay? Because obviously, to me, it's like an imprint. That's a print in the snow, a paw print, imprint. So if this person has made an impression in your life, this is time, it's now time for you to start connecting with this energy in a different kind of a way. If you have been struggling, if you've been struggling with negativity, unforgiveness, fear, rage, blame, all those things, this is a good opportunity for you to, like I said before, learn to dance with the energy and try to make this work for you in some way. Allow this situation or this person or the impression that they've made on you to help you live your best life, okay? And you don't need to have this person in your life to do this. And I'll tell you why. Spirit. This person is with you in spirit. That means that you're still connected to this person's energy on some sort of spiritual level. So even if you guys are not together, they're still very much with you in spirit, almost like someone who has passed on is still with you in spirit. So this person remains with you by your side in spirit. You can clearly see here, this man is sitting here, but it's very faint. This looks like a dream. This looks like a fate, like it doesn't look like it's actually in the same dimension as him. So you and this person may not even be in the same dimension. Some of you may have lost this person to actual, death, passing on. I do get a lot of people that ask me to do those types of readings here on YouTube, but sometimes it just pops through. Spirit could be coming through a spirit animal, as a message from this person, whether they're with you or not. And we have the Strength card, Lion. All right, we got some tigers, we got some lions, we got a rat, we got a dog, we got a hawk. Yeah, there it is. So personal power and assertiveness portrayed with kindness, compassion that brings about forgiveness, realizing that you're stronger than you knew. So there really is a lot of strength in being in a place where you're stronger for what you've gone through. And just because you forgive someone doesn't mean you need to forget. When you don't forget, that means that you're going to keep it in your mind as in a reminder that if you happen to deal with that kind of energy again, you're going to pay attention to what you went through before. And you're going to carry that wisdom and you're going to just have better discernment. That's what not forgetting means. But forgiving means I no longer take it personally what you did to me. I don't take it personally and I don't rake myself over the coals because of your fears and your issues and your traumas and the ways that you treated me. I'm no longer willing to drink that poison and take it all personally because I know it's not about me. Your shit's about you, my shit's about me. That is true strength. And that's what we're doing. So you can see this woman here who's being portrayed as an angel is sitting here with this lion, and they're both very calm. That lion is very calm and very tame. So this is about taming the energy of the connection. So remember the 911, union is in the air. We're always talking about union. We're always dreaming about union. But is it really possible that that could even really happen in reality? If we're still so pissed off, or if we feel so low, or we don't feel good about ourselves, might not be the best idea. So some of us need to kind of shift a little bit with what we're thinking and take some things into consideration before we just jump the gun and go after what we're dreaming of in that sense. And maybe go after our own dreams, our individual dreams. Try that on for size. And learn to love ourselves more. And then when we do that, we become strong when we connect with other people. So that's what I have for you guys today. I really hope that there was some aspect of something that we went through that resonated with you. And if it didn't, no worries. But if it did, I really hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. My links are down below if you guys want to, get a personal reading, or if you guys want to tip me for today's reading. That's always really wonderful. All those links will be down below. So anyways, you guys, I hope you have an incredible weekend, and I will see you guys next week. All right, take care. Bye-bye.